That's a hazard. That's not a hat pick. Oh yeah, buddy, hat picks. Welcome to another edition of Steve's Hat Picks, where we take a look at the best from the NHL over the past week. And we gotta start with a wrong that has been righted. Phil Kessel, he becomes the NHL's Iron Man, and it's still going, by the way. He hasn't missed a game since November 3rd, 2009. Ties the record against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he scores his 400th NHL goal until they call it offside. But Phil the Thrill has no chill. He hit 400 anyway. Here it is.
For 4 minutes to play here in the first, still 0-0. Kessel is on it. He's cruising. Kessel breaks in, shoots, and scores! Number 400 for Phil the Thrill. And the Vegas Golden Knights are up 1-0.
Well, we said he had a flair for the dramatic, and Phil comes through. What a goal from the NHL Iron Man. One of the things that's made him so great is he's just an effortless skater, and watch the way he just blows by. It didn't look like he was putting all that much effort in, but he just simply skates by, puck on his stick, 3 hard strides, and he's got the angle. And then the soft hands to get Reimer to commit and back against the grain. What a goal.
I think I'm like a lot of you. I can't exactly put my finger on why we love Phil Kessel, but we do. Phil, can I call you Phil? That's a hat pick. Speaking of milestones, Jeff Skinner scored his 300th NHL goal this week. I'm not going to show you that, but I am going to show you one of the ones he scored along the way. This, Jeff, is disgusting.
And then Tuck does his little moves to get outside the line to center ice. Buffalo with some possession in the offensive zone. Here's a chance for Skinner. Scores!
Fusion over on the far side, but Quinn does a nice job chipping that one deep. Tuck's just going to feed Skinner. Look at Skinner. He does a little fandango right there, and he's got Mutt on both thinking he's going to go low. Look at, he drops his glove down trying to take that area above the pad open. And bang, tucks it right up top. Look at that one right there. That's...
I need to know. I demand answers. What did Sam Montembeault ever do to you? It should tell you something about how bad the Buffalo Sabres used to be, that a guy who can do that once failed to get to double digits in goal scoring. He passed 30 goals once again last season, and this season the goal scoring is a little down, but he's hanging around a point per game. Buffalo has been miserable for a long time, but right now in the NHL, wagon is spelled S-A-B-R-E-S. That's a hat pick. Speaking of which, did you pick up Tage Thompson in fantasy? You should have. You got basically an automatic win this week. Here's Tage Thompson with 6 points in one game, including a hat trick.
Skinner, far side, one-timer, scores! TNT with a little trick and treat. Towards now, Tage from the corner comes up with it, turns away from Larkin. Looks to go to the net. He's behind the cage with it on the back end. Sends it in front. That's in the net. That is a goal. And the Sabres lift it out to center ice and the bouncing puck. Kyle Pozo does a good job of knocking it down. Takes it down into the corner. In front for Skinner. Scores! Inside the Sabres blue line. Now Kyle Pozo looks up. Finds a streaking Alex Tuck down the wing. It's dropped back. And patience pays off right there. TNT does it again. Advantage. Thompson, they're popping on him quickly. Here's Darlene. Sends it in, scores!
He kept it.
Yeah, probably sold it. Thompson with a shot from well out. Hunting for a second hat trick. Back it all. What a move. Are you kidding me? Hat trick, Tage Thompson.
Tage Thompson went from a bust and a forgotten part of the Ryan O'Reilly trade to essentially an NHL video game create a player. He's 6'7", he can skate, he's got the hands of an angel, and he puts up 6 points in a game. That's you playing on too easy of a setting on Be a Pro. And he's doing it in the National Hockey League? We should have never doubted that contract. Yeah, it's early. Shut up. He got 6 points. That's ridiculous. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, sticking with Atlantic Division Wagons, Remember when we thought the Bruins might struggle because they didn't have Marchand? Well, they didn't. And now he's back, so it's probably there. I told you. And Marchand is most definitely in on this play, but holy cow, Charlie Coyle out of nowhere.
Marchand finds forward across the way. Coyle stick handles and slot and scores! Nifty little pay at the left point to allow Charlie Coyle to step on the ice and receive that pass. Tape to tape, full flight. Steps right between two wings. Maintains possession of the puck and finishes the play with a bullet to the glove side, posted in.
Watch out, watch out, oh, RKO! Comes flying into the offensive zone. Puck is bouncing everywhere. It's one of those occasions where you remember the thing is made of rubber. He somehow keeps it and snipes it. Ugh. That's a hazard. It's not a hat pick. It's disgusting. We just had Halloween, and the Bruins are the living embodiment of the Mike Myers mask, basically. Or the Jason mask, or any of those other longtime horror movie bad guys where you're like, aren't you gone? Like, I thought they got rid of you! You're never rid of them, are you? That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, I thought this should have been a dang it. But, producer Nick, he put it to a vote on twitter.com. It's a website. Have you heard of it? Cool. I'm not sure about sticking around, but yeah, it's there for now. Check out this from Julian Gautier.
In his 28th game at the NHL level.
He's been an offensive defenseman at the other levels.
Here's Gautier, and he'll stay with it and score! Wedgwood came out to challenge, and Gautier got around the netminder.
Any netminder to scoot out and try to beat a forward to a loose puck. Scott went out to try to get it, and he was late to get out of the blocks a little bit, thinking maybe that Gautier was going to jam it. He used his reach. That's deft, nice balletic balance.
Okay, so you see where I'm coming from, though, right? That should be a dang it, because what's the thing that I always yell and scream? They lost to a 42... No, not that one. If you're a goaltender, tend the goal! And Scott Wedgwood did not tend the goal on this one. However, look at Julian Gautier. Look at the angle. Look at the... He's up in the air! Look! What is this? What do you even call this? That's witchcraft. This is, if this goal happened a few hundred years ago, you were getting burned at the stake, Julian. It's a hat pick within a dang it, and a dang it within a hat pick, and get ready to see this Thursday, because it'll be there too. That's a hat pick, and also dang it. For our next hat pick, there are some players that we've talked about in the past who don't always light it up. They're not necessarily going to be point per game guys, 30 goal guys. They might be. They got the potential. They got the skill. And even though they're not going to score all the time, when they do, it's disgusting. Andreas Anthanasiou, this was unnecessary.
That shot floated off a couple of gloves. Tenorti. Kane to Anthanasiou. Andreas Anthanasiou scores!
One of the prettier goals you are going to see this season. He completely ties up Matt Dumba, the defenseman of the Minnesota Wild. Kane feeds him a pass in the neutral zone. Backhand, forehand, little toe drag deep. And then a backhand up over the glove of Marc-Andre Fleury. Spectacular.
Why? I think that might be violence. When it comes to the highlight pack, sometimes the softest hands hit the hardest. Oh, Andreas, why? Why? You couldn't have... All right, I just feel bad for everyone else involved. I gotta say, the Blackhawks, brutal roster coming into this season. I did not believe in it, but they've had some pretty fun moments. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, letting the goalies get one back after that one. Jeez. Here's Juuse Saros. Just doesn't quit.
Ekholm looking deep through the air, out of the reach of Sissons. Sanheim, a quick up to Sedlak. To the high slot. Backdoor feed off the line! Oh my gosh. Juuse Saros somehow reaching back with a stick to erase a goal.
I gotta call this one the Nissan defensive stop of the game. It was in the net. Saros reaches back with his stick. Look at Farabee had his hands in the air. And Juuse Saros Look at that. It's on the line. He corrals it and scoops it right out of the net.
Dude, listen to the announcers too.
To the high slot. Backdoor feed off the line. Oh my gosh.
They're right. They're correct. In a land of ginormous goalies, UC Saros stands out as a relic of the past, somewhat. In that he's not a 6'4" Yankee Jack Skellington looking guy. Nightmare Before Christmas, it came out a while ago. It's a popular film amongst the olds. Right now you're like, but I watched that, yeah. You're an old. But never mind that. UC Saros absolutely robbing the Philadelphia Flyers of their hopes and dreams, and maybe that might be a bit, too much. This is ridiculous, and it's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, John Gibson. First, he robbed the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Knocked away by Kulikov, but it comes to the top of the circle, and a pass across. Brings a sprawling save from Gibson.
What a stop by John Gibson. He just absolutely robbed John Tavares. Let's go back to our Arcos top tier play and watch this stop by John Gibson. My goodness. Just gets the heel of the catching glove on that bid by John Tavares. Doesn't do it justice to watch it in slow motion, I don't.
Wow. He robbed them. He robbed them. He sure did. Oh, what's this? Oh, he did it again in overtime, and it was against Marner after Marner got benched.
From the back of the net, Matthews trying to find a man. He's got a wide open Mitch Marner. Sprawling save
stop
by Gibson.
What a stop. Around the goal stick. But watch John Gibson reach back with that left hand. Oh, my goodness. What a save. Credit Klingberg. Klingberg got a stick in there on the shaft of the stick of Marner.
Ah! And even though we already saw this happen, and we know what happened, let's pretend that you haven't. You haven't seen it yet. You don't know what happened. What happens next? If you guess the Leafs lose the game, good job. Yeah, that's about right. What a save. What a team. That's a hat pick. And also, the Leafs are, well, they're not that right now. They're the other one. For our next one, you talk about goalies on an absolute mission. The Winnipeg Jets haven't been great, but Connor Hellebuyck has been absolutely stellar. He stood on his skull and brain. At one point, I saw the shots were 33-8 in favor of Vegas, and the game was tied. And then Hellebuyck introduced the Vegas Golden Knights to the paddle save emporium.
And chopping at it, Perfetti, but Hank kept it in. Stevenson to the front of the net, and Hellebuyck's down, and it stays out and off the post through the crease. What a chance there for Vegas.
Hellebuyck that the Jets aren't in this shift, and just look at the way they move the puck so efficiently, and a backdoor attempt, and that paddle from Hellebuyck he's sold out here. Watch this. Backdoor, and he whacks that out of the air, and acrobatical athletic save from Hellebuyck. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. We're locked here at zeros because of that.
You know what? I should have said UC Saros was in the paddle save emporium too. We have 2 entries in the paddle save emporium in this one. There's something so satisfying about those saves because you're not supposed to make them. I don't think any goalie coach is ever going to be like, yeah, make a save with the other side of the paddle. No, they're going to want you to stand cookie cutter and do those weird little shift things. But there's something about the desperation. Oh, mwah, when they actually pull it off, it's a thing of beauty. That's a hat pick. I'd shop at that emporium. And last but not least, the best of the week in producer Nick's opinion. That's aggressive. We've had a pretty good week. This is a solid week. Here's Jack Eichel in overtime.
That was the best chance for Vegas so far in the OT. There's Eichel cutting into the circle. Takes it in around the net. And brings it back out top. 10 seconds. Eichel walks into the circle. Towards it up! And it scores! What an individual effort by Jack Eichel to win it 2-1 in OT!
Here he is, rolls out high up top, gets a little separation, protects it. Long reach, takes it to the net. And what a goal by Eichel to end it in overtime with his 4th of the year.
Okay, all right. Okay, he might have a point. That's nasty. And you know what? The Buffalo Sabres are resurgent, and Vegas struggled last year. we've been unfairly harsh on Jack Eichel. He maybe wasn't Jack Eichel for the Vegas Golden Knights last year, but the Vegas Golden Knights weren't exactly the Vegas Golden Knights last year, and Eichel was coming off that neck surgery, and it turns out that shortly after his comeback, he broke his hand or his thumb or something that you need to shoot a puck. Here he is many months later, and he looks pretty good, man. Look out for Jack Eichel and the Vegas Golden Knights. That's a hat pick. So, what do you think? Do you agree with producer Nick? Was that the best one of the week? What was the best one of the week? Leave a comment in the comment box down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Go easy on the goalies. You don't need to do all that. Yeah, you do.